Hi, I'm JP.
And I'm Adam.
I've never seen Lost.
I have.
I'm told that it's good.
I liked it.
I'm told that it made sense.
Sort of.
But we're watching it out of order.
So it definitely won't make sense.
But it might still be good. Since we won't expect it to make sense, we'll still be able to appreciate each episode on its own merits as a 1-hour story.
Sometimes 2 or 3.
As opposed to just a fraction of an ongoing, sprawling, and increasingly complex tangle of relationships, personal stories, mysteries, mythologies, experiments, social dynamics, unnatural disasters, unanswered questions, and hot tropical hookups.
Are you okay?
I'm not sure.
Because you lost me a little bit there at the end.
Well, good, because I've been lost since the beginning. We're lost on Lost.
Welcome everybody to Lost on Lost. I am Adam Busher and I'm joined as always by the illustrious JP Russell.
Hello.
Now, JP, before we get started, I need to mention something.
Yes.
Today I got a very important email saying that today was my last chance to honor the military member in my life.
Okay.
So JP, as one of the military members in my life, I have entered you into a raffle for a chance to unfurl the American flag at the 2021 World Series.
I don't think you understand how little I know about baseball and how little I've done in the military. Like, I get paid to play on Photoshop and have other people watch me pee in a urinalysis. So, like, thank me for my service. You're welcome. Whatever.
And that's exactly why I thought this was a great idea.
Okay, good.
And I'm really, really grateful that I didn't miss this opportunity to honor you. So thank you for the reminder, Budweiser and the MLB.
Yeah.
They were also reminding me to renew my MLB TV for next year, but I don't know if I'm going to do that.
That's a thing? Okay.
Today we are talking about Lockdown, the 17th episode of Season 2 and the 42nd episode overall. Our centric character is everyone's favorite regional collection supervisor for a cardboard manufacturer, John Locke.
Boy!
Lockdown takes place on the 61st day after the crash of Oceanic 815. JP.
Yeah.
You got a recap for me?
I got a recap for you.
Let's do it.
Much like the 7 miracles of Jesus, John Locke brings his dead father back to life. Only to have him, like, hide from some notorious mobster named Tony Meatballs or whatever. On Island Time, John and Henry Gale have a good old-fashioned hatch mess around. Jack and Sawyer perform the community theater version of low-stakes Casino Royale. We encounter less inflated balloons than on my 10th birthday party, and I question whether Katie Seagal is related to Steven Seagal. How much do kidneys go for on the black market? This is our first John Locke episode, and I just came. All this on John Lockdown, Season 2, Episode 17. We have a guest. We always have a guest. Our guest today is Justin. Justin,
hello.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
It's such a pleasure to be here.
Justin, tell us a little bit about yourself. First and foremost, I guess, are you a Lost fan? Did you watch Lost in its original run?
I did. I'm a pretty big Lost fan. I watched it all the way through. I started... I worked at a video store and the first season came out on DVD and I started that the summer before the second season and got really into it. Got so into it that wedding in Florida that my wife and I went to a few years before we got married, we went to some friends' weddings that the whole wedding party stayed a day later, including the bride and groom, to watch the finale of the show. Which wasn't the craziest aspect of that wedding, actually.
Wow.
That's some dedication.
But,
that's dedication.
It was fun.
That's awesome. So when you're not watching Lost and doing podcasts about Lost out of order, what kind of stuff do you watch? What kind of media do you consume?
I watch a lot of YouTube, to be honest, a lot more. But yeah,
just
a lot more than I should.
ASMR unboxing cat videos.
I wish it was that. But no, TV wise, I love Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I kind of have I don't know if Adam knows this yet, but I've been watching SWAT lately.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I've always sort of seen you as sort of like a prestige television consumer, and that just was like a little bit of a reality check to me.
Yeah. It's my current guilty pleasure, but other than that, I love all the prestige stuff like Mad Men and Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Lost.
So yeah, prestige television, SWAT. When you're watching TV, you prefer serialized stuff, or do you like going for episodic stuff like SWAT, or is it kind of like a mix of both?
Usually I watch mostly serialized stuff. One nice thing about SWAT is like I can turn my mind off and not really have to follow things here and there if I'm not paying attention. But like honestly, I've been going back and watching old Star Trek, been like just picking random, like even like from the original series, just picking random episodes to watch and just kind of chow down on, I guess you could say.
And because I like to make sure that we are validating our bogus opinions with media professionals, you work in the film and television industry, do you not, Justin?
I do, yeah. I work in the production office on Star Trek Picard, which is ultimately unrelated to me watching Star Trek, but it's a dream come true. And then I've made some short films in the past and worked across various forms of film and television production for the last 15 years.
Awesome. Very good.
Real pro. Yeah. Should we get into it? What do you think?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Excellent. Let's do it. Lockdown originally aired on March 29th, 2006. It was written by Carlton Cuse and Damon Lindelof and directed by Stephen Williams. You might remember Carlton Cuse from his work on The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. You may also recognize Damon Lindelof from his work as a story editor on Nash Bridges. And Stephen Williams, you may remember from the television show Flash Forward, the one from 1996, not the one from 2009.
How much longer can you do this?
Not long. I really hope that there's a stretch of, because this is what, like, out of our last 5 episodes, I think 3 of them have been Cuse, Lindelof, and Williams.
Right.
So we need to have some episodes here that are written by anybody else, really, and because there ain't a lot of Stephen Williams jokes to be had.
That's fantastic.
Lockdown. So
yeah,
Lockdown is a story of a man.
Is it?
It's the story of a man and another man and a hatch and I don't know.
2 guys, a hatch, and a pizza place,
and another man.
Oh.
This is one of those lost episodes. I think JP and I we might have talked about this at some point in the past, but the lost episodes, especially in the first half of the show, they had kind of at least two distinct styles. One was like where island time kind of happened, and then the flashbacks ran in parallel to the story, and they were sort of like 2 versions of the same story. The easiest example that I can point to is Everybody Hates Hugo, where we got Hurley getting his hands on the food stash in the
Do No Harm's the exact same way. It
Do No
just
Harm
runs
from
in
season
parallel.
1. Yeah, the story onto Island and in the flashback are just running right next to each other. And then there's this second kind of show that they do where things are happening on Island time, and we're just getting the story of what's happening of that day on the island. And then the flashback is just sort of like a history lesson about
It's just
whoever.
another story.
Yeah, it's just like they're doing stuff on the island, and if you wanted to know more about this person, here's a story from their past. And yeah, it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the island or what they're doing on the island, unless the connection flew entirely over my head, but I didn't see it.
No, I didn't catch one at all.
So in this instance, I think it'll behoove us to discuss them sort of in 2 distinct chunks. We can talk about what happened on the island, and then we can talk about what happened in flashback, or vice versa. What would you guys rather talk about first? Do you want to talk about the flashback, or do you want to talk about the island stuff?
Personally, I would like to talk about the flashback stuff first, because I would like to end where the episode ends.
Sure.
Perfect. If that makes sense.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I have a lot to say about the ending. So I think sticking with the flashback first is probably the way to go.
Well, let's kick it off then with the discussion about the flashback in Lockdown. The first thing we see in the flashback is John Locke.
Yeah.
And that head of hair, right? Guys,
Whew. Boy.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
Bad boy John Locke's got a ring, and he's gonna put a ring on it.
Well, he let's back up even before the ring. He's got like army rolled socks, which I mean we don't know a lot about John Locke's like all of the details of his history.
We know so little about John Locke at this point.
Right. We the podcast.
We the podcast, not you the viewer.
But you get this idea that he's sort of a survivalist, that he knows his way around being outside, and the meticulous nature of actually organizing and rolling your socks. There's something to that. Sorry, I'll shut up about that now.
So his socks are something that Justin, let me ask you a quick question. Did you notice his socks?
I didn't notice his socks, but I did notice the napkins, the way they were rolled. But I'm not a military man, so maybe a military man is more apt to notice such things. So
we get to the ring. He pulls out a ring, and it's like, okay, he's got a sweetheart, and he wants to put a ring on it. And who is he going to put the ring on? Katie Sagal.
Fuck yes.
Right? I kind of forgot that she was in Lost.
Again, there's all these little bit parts where I'm just like, oh, that person from, XYZ, and she popped up, and it just...
XYZ, name one other show Katie Sagal's been on.
Futurama.
Married with Children.
Futurama, the one thing she's been in that you don't see her.
Married with Children.
Perfect.
But
her voice is very recognizable, though.
Right. But Lost does a really good job of like filling these bit parts with very competent actors or at least interesting people to watch. Yeah. And pretty much every time she was on screen, I was just like, God damn it, why aren't you in more things?
and this is another instance that we don't really discover this until the rest of the show happens, but we don't hear her name in this episode until maybe 10 minutes before the end.
Oh, yeah.
But this is not the first time that her character's been on the show. This is the first time we've seen her.
Yeah.
And she recurs a handful of times in John Locke's flashbacks, at least twice, probably 5 times. I don't know, I can't remember, but she's around a lot. But yeah, she's the girl, man. She's the one that Locke wants to have and to hold, and she likes reading obituaries.
Which I thought my initial was like, who the hell just reads the obituaries? And I remembered I have 2 family members who just get the newspaper so that they can read the obituaries.
My mom is the same exact way. So I was like, she's like my mom.
Print alive.
Yeah.
But
it's convenient that she reads the obits because...
Well, hold on, really quick. So John is... John's going to pack a picnic and... propose to her. So I wanted to pose a quick question to you guys. So Justin, let's say that you're going to propose to myself or Adam. What would you pack in your picnic basket for a wonderful day out where you're going to propose to one of us?
Several blankets.
Just a bunch of blankets.
Yeah, very little food. Because I wouldn't plan that far ahead.
Are you gonna make a fort and fuck me in it, Justin?
Maybe. No.
That's why I'm in love with you.
Yeah, right. This is why it will work. And then maybe some fruit.
There you go. Healthy. Vitamin C.
There we go. Yeah.
Busher, what would you be packing in that picnic basket?
Root beer and cherry flavored Pez, probably.
Pepto-Bismol.
Just my back medicine.
Yeah, because you're gonna throw it out, giving it to Justin. I had a mild panic attack, and I had to rewind like 3 times because I thought that he had a thing of ring bologna that he was putting in there. It was like the same package as like Oscar Mayer ring bologna, but then I realized it was fancy cheese. So then I became overly fixated on what else was in the picnic basket, but it's not important.
I mean, I'm glad it's not ring bologna. That would be
right?
that'd be a worse picnic than either Justin's picnic or my picnic. Like,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so as I was saying, it's convenient that Gemma or Katie Sagal or whoever likes to read the obits because we find out that John Locke's dad is dead. John Locke's dad, we hardly knew ye.
Anthony Cooper Locke.
Anthony Cooper.
Yeah. We haven't seen an episode with John Locke's dad. Prior to this is our first. I don't think this is our first John Locke centric episode.
Yeah, for the podcast it is.
Oh yeah,
sure.
sure enough. I just looked at the old schedule. Yeah, this is our first.
Oh, wow.
This is our first Locke centric episode. Period.
Hell
so
yeah.
So we don't know anything about John Locke's history.
What a sad man to be introduced to in this episode.
like we know all the stuff we know about John Locke. We only know about stuff that he's revealed on the island. So like the cardboard manufacturer thing is something we learned in an episode that he was having a conversation with Boone on one of their little jungle walkabouts, and it's like little itty bitty bits like that. But yeah, like as I was watching this, I remember I was like, man, prior to the island, like. One of the reasons he loves being on the island is because his life fucking sucked before.
Yeah.
Like so hard.
It's not good.
He is king man on the island.
Yeah.
Well, and that's seriously something that, I mean, even just as him being a tertiary character in the other episodes, like you get the feeling where he's like, okay, finally I'm doing something, you know, like he left some boring life behind and now he's like, all right, well, I've got skills and I'm just gonna be on this island now. This is cool.
He's the epitome of what every person hopes they would be when they go to college. Where they like completely change their persona and like what everyone thinks of them, and then, but most people never actually do that, and then he actually pulls it off once he's there.
Yeah. Exactly. I went to college and I started wearing a jacket with a bunch of like patches and pins on it. I was like, I'm gonna be that guy, and I never got laid. So.
So John and we find out her name later in the episode's Helen, or we found out in an episode earlier that if you watch the show in order, you're not as confused as we are. So not Gemma, but Helen. John and Helen go to the funeral. They're the only two people there, save for the priest.
Okay, so I have some questions about this. Who planned the funeral?
This is a good question. I didn't
if they're
think about
the
that until
only
just
two
now.
that show up besides Jimmy Meatballs or whatever and his friend, like
Johnny Bain, I think.
Yeah, Johnny Bain.
Jimmy Bain, maybe, I don't know.
There's the priest or whoever's doing the service. There's the guy standing behind them, which I assume is the funeral director. Like,
who paid for it?
Yeah.
Well,
right.
okay, so let's say he pre-planned. They would notify some sort of next of kin. The fact that he had to find out about it through the obit is just like rude.
Right.
But they have different last names, right? Is that?
Do they?
I think his last name is Cooper, right?
Yeah, Anthony
I thought that was
Cooper's
the middle name. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, I'm pretty sure that it's Anthony Cooper.
Based off of this episode, this is my first episode ever of Lost, and it appears his last name is Cooper, according to this.
That makes more sense.
I misspoke earlier. John and Helen are not the only two at the funeral. There's two weird dudes 15 feet away, and is it America Mercedes-Benz? About 40 feet away also. Here's the thing. Like, I've seen a lot of TV, I've seen a lot of movies, I've seen a lot of like fake your own death funerals. This has fake my own death funeral screaming screaming from it. And those two dingling goons, like, didn't they see the car speed away as soon as, like,
right?
Hey, if you think that maybe the guy you were looking for might still be alive, maybe check that car right there.
Right.
Maybe that was the moment it confirmed their suspicion.
Right.
They get to the funeral and they're just like, okay, well, there's some dude and some lady and a priest and nobody in. Oh, right there's a car. I bet we were worried before that this might have been fake, and now we're pretty sure. But anyway, this was actually kind of an interesting thing, and minus context. I mean, I remember vaguely in the back of my head some of the sort of shenanigans that John and Anthony get into throughout their history. But John goes up to the coffin and he just says, "I forgive you," to the coffin. So
yeah. John's the bigger man, it seems. Mm-hmm. What we find out that his dad did to him without any prior context until this point is actually quite a shocking reveal.
Right.
I'm not trying to jump ahead on that, but that
because Helen says something about it in the car. She makes a joke about it before they go to the funeral. She's like, "Oh, maybe he left you a kidney."
It's like, what a poor joke.
Right? That's not a very good joke.
Out of context.
I'm also super curious to find out how he stole a kidney.
We'll get there.
Is that like I got your nose? But
oh, man.
Maybe on the island.
Yeah.
So fake real funeral happens. John has some real emotions, and then the next thing that happens is we cut forward to Locke's what he's doing. He's got a job as a building inspector, and I had to pause it to look, but on his jumpsuit it does say "Welcome home, building inspectors." John Locke, owner. So he owns his own business. He's a small businessman, and he's his own boss.
But when does he get into being the regional
collections manager for a cardboard manufacturer?
Yeah,
we'll just have to find out, JP.
God damn it.
So he owns his own business. Things are good, whatever. But then he sees the same car from the funeral. Who did you guys think it was in the car?
Zach Braff.
It was J.J. Abrams.
It's his dad.
Oh man,
this is the podcast, the first podcast appearance of Kevin Tyee, not the first lost appearance of Kevin Tyee. So they have a little bit of an awkward sort of hello, and then they go have lunch together, and we find out here on the podcast, not in the show, John's dad is some sort of con man. He took some dudes for $700K, and apparently took John for a kidney.
Okay, we need
but
to
he's
discuss.
Sorry about it.
Yeah, we need to discuss a few things about this con. Is $700,000 a lot of money? Sure. Mm-hmm. Is it enough to risk your life for? I don't know. Couldn't even say $1 million. You know what I mean?
But is this to make Lost more realistic in a normal real world situation? If you stole $700,000 from somebody would probably be coming after you too.
From Tony Meatballs.
I stole $700,000 off this, guys. I took exactly that amount because it was how much I need to pay off my student loans.
Maybe he still has. Maybe that's the whole impetus. So. Mr. Cooper.
I went to DeVry.
but yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. I mean, that's an odd. It's a strange number.
Well, and so, but here's the deal. So he talks to John and he's like, listen, I got the money in the safety deposit box. I need you to go get it. $200,000 of that is yours. Regardless, I'm leaving on the plane tomorrow or whatever.
Right.
So here's a couple of things. One, he's not running away with $700,000. He's walking away with $500,000. Mm-hmm. Two, he's going to leave with the money or not. Mm-hmm. So if John wanted, he could just go take the money and keep all $700,000. Mm-hmm. If you wanted all the money or the majority of it, you would get somebody off Craigslist or something. You wouldn't give $200,000 to your son that you feel indebted to because you stole a kidney. You're a piece of shit enough where you're going to steal a kidney from your son, which let's talk about how they're basically the same age. But they should have given him a fucking afro if they wanted him to look younger, give him a perm or something. But then two, you're a terrible con man. You didn't con that much money, and you have no leverage to make sure that the guy who's supposed to get you the money is actually going to give you the money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do we know what year this flashback's supposed to take place? Is that apparent in any way?
No, we don't. I don't think they ever really.
Probably 90s. I was just guessing by the car.
90s, maybe. I don't know.
I know Helen's car has the automatic seatbelt.
Oh man, I remember my aunt had one of those when I was a kid, and I thought that was one of the coolest fucking things. And then I realized as an adult how lame it was to think that was cool.
Buckle up.
I don't have to do it myself.
Your car.
Yeah, this launched this whole thing. The weird number, the kidney. Cooper says it's his retirement score or whatever, but he's obviously got himself in such a big jam that he has to be okay with just taking off without the cash. He's otherwise.
This is definitely pre-recession.
Oh, things were so good and we didn't even know it.
But so he tells him what he's at. He's like, they're probably watching the bank. So John, if you take this key and go get the money for me, and John thinks about it. I don't know.
But again, if they're watching the bank, why send the one
dude that was at the funeral?
Right. Why send 50% of the people that were at the funeral?
Yeah.
I almost think he's thinking that John's an easy score.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the thought process that led to him doing the big kidney swipe. But so the next bit we see is when John goes to the bank. He goes to the bank and he opens up the box, and like me personally, I was like, "There's not going to be any money in here. This is just another scam. It's just gonna be like a picture of like Anthony Cooper's dick or something." Be like, "Nah, I got you again, nerd."
Is there seriously though? Is there anything more like sexy than opening up a safety deposit box that's not yours? Like you don't know what's in it. Like I've seen that trope in movies, and I'm always just kind of like, "Ooh, you're alone in this room, and there's something secret in this box, and it's important because it's in a safety deposit box." Oh man.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean,
John,
like it's like,
listen, guys, I got my fucking kinks, and I don't want you to kink shame me here.
it's like a treasure hunt, except without all the boring wandering around. Like, you know, maybe the journey was the treasure the whole time. No, the treasure is the treasure, and that's where safety deposit box is like just the treasure.
This pre-social media world was just full of excitement and just like adventure.
Yeah.
Just the little things
Sense
could
of wonder.
make a man happy.
What could be in this box?
Going into the bank and saying to the teller, "Hey, could you put this in your outgoing mail?" Ooh, there's something about it. Just fucking Andy Dufresne and some stones out my shoe. I don't know, man.
So John gets he see there's actually cash in the box, and he does the smart thing and flips through it to make sure that it's just not $100 bill on either end and then a bunch of paper in the middle, so it's real money. And he takes it home. He takes the score back to his house. He bursts in the door and tells Helen to put on her Sunday best because they're gonna paint the town red, which is very much a John Locke thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the goons are there. Oh,
Fucking
no.
Tony Meatballs.
I kind of want to talk about him walking in though and saying that like that performance, like he's so committed to doing that, and like I don't know, like I would feel so stupid. I don't act, but like I would feel so stupid running in and doing that scene, and like that's how you know he's a great actor.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He just owns that, and he, like it's so cringe inducing, and what a sad man. I just
Well, and like I used to act, and if Terry O'Quinn was anything like me, like the first time he did it, he felt like a total idiot, and then every other time with that, he was like, I forgot for a moment that my job is to play pretend, so and then you just lead into it. But I mean, because he's just with a spring in his step, and like, and he sold me as soon as he came out. I was like, yeah, he's got the cash, smart. He's never gonna see Anthony Cooper again, and he's got $700,000. So I mean, I bought it.
I instant, like, as soon as I saw him with the bag, though, I thought there's no way he has the money on him. Like, everything that we have seen from John up to this point, he's smart enough to know, hey, maybe don't bring $700,000 in cash in my house in a fucking tool bag.
Right.
Like,
But yeah, so the goons are waiting there they're following up on their only other lead from the funeral, the mystery car, or the two people that were there. So they get there, and a dude with a really raspy, gravelly voice says, "Hey, my name is Jimmy Bain."
can we just call him Tony Meatballs, please?
Well, here's the thing, Jimmy Bain. Why didn't they just call him Vinny Goon Squad? And this is my partner, Ricky B&E.
I'll admit, when I at that scene, I looked up on Lostpedia if Jimmy Bain recurs. I had to know.
Yeah.
And because he seems kind of like the perfect one that could have recurred, and it seems, spoiler alert, it seems to be no.
Oh, alas.
But
we won't get more answers about Jimmy Bain then, and why he's got such a dumb name. But anyway, so dumb names aside, they shake him down, and John was smart. He didn't actually bring the cash with him. He plays the goons pretty well here, but Helen's kind of onto him.
Yeah, I think that it is weird though, because Tony Meatballs says something like, you didn't look too shook up at the funeral. She just got done telling you that they didn't really know him.
Right.
Like, we weren't shook up. The funeral was attended by us and no one else. This wasn't a well-liked man.
Right. You didn't seem too shook up about this guy who you recently admitted you hardly knew.
And you coincidentally went to the funeral. You if she hadn't read the paper that morning,
Right, exactly.
They would have completely missed out.
Yeah,
Precisely.
like what if the scene opens or the show opens just like, honey, put down the paper. We're going on a picnic right now. And she doesn't get a chance to read it. 5-minute lost episode.
She's like, you know what the best part of the paper is? And he goes, yeah, Marmaduke. And then they just read Marmaduke.
The dog is so big. So here's the other side of the coin. He comes in and I believe him when he enters this room that he's got the money. And then when she's like, did you see your father recently? And he's like, no. I'm like, wow, that's the worst acting I've ever seen in my whole life.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like she should have been onto it even quicker. Like, something's going on. Like, who are these men in our house?
Yeah.
What does this have to do with you?
No, of course. I haven't seen my father, honey. Would you like some ring bologna and blankets?
She's like proto Skylar White.
Gotta write that down. Proto Skylar White.
Feel free to use it again.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So the next thing that happens is John he goes to the motel. He gets there. He knocks on the door. Cooper's like, "Oh, hey, good thing I saw you, because otherwise my retirement score was kind of a fucking blow off."
I didn't think this through.
And John gives him the money. Cooper splits out a chunk for him. He's like, "Here is for you," and he's like, "I didn't do it for the money. If I was Cooper, I'd be like, all right then, just put the money back."
Right, exactly.
It's like, I'm not leaving it here. If you don't want it, I'll keep it.
Right. He's a terrible con man.
He's very bad with money, that's for sure. Probably had to be a con man because he's fucking broke all the time.
He does have a free kidney, so in that regard, he's a good con man.
He does, yeah. He's kind of an excellent con man, I think.
He splits the cash with John, and then they're getting ready to bail. But then Helen must have followed John to the hotel because she's there when the door opens. And she's
not fucking stupid. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's like, some mobsters came to our house after your father's mysterious death. Obviously, something's going on.
Yeah. And no, she's not having it. She's pissed. She slaps Cooper, and he just eats it. Like, that's got to happen to him a couple of times a week, I imagine, in his line of work.
Yeah.
But then, so like John rushes after her, trying to preserve it, and nah, man.
Well, it's the same thing, and we're going to talk about this when we get back to the island, where, you know, John's way of trying to get her back after, you know, she's clearly about to leave him is to propose to her. He like fumbles trying to explain to her what happened. Mm-hmm. No, take the second. Take a minute and actually explain it. You made this so much worse by trying to cover it up with a proposal. Like,
yeah, I think maybe she would have accepted. But then, you know, is this why the episode's called Lockdown? Because Locke went down on one knee.
Oh, God damn it, Justin.
Another fake plane takes off, and John is left standing in the parking lot, looking like just a broken-hearted fool. And that's classic John Locke. Yeah. You know, even Cooper drives off without even like giving him a finger guns or a wave or anything.
He's like, oh.
Finger guns? Oh, God. That's the only thing that could have made that situation worse.
He kind of did. He just smirks at him.
Yeah, he just kind of gives him like,
"You're no son of mine."
Yeah. Oh, man. So that's pretty much it for the flashback. Do you guys have any notes you wanted to hit on the flashback? Otherwise, we'll talk about Island Time.
I don't think so. No.
I have so many notes for Island Time that for an episode where like not actually a lot happened during Island Time.
There's a lot of really good moments in Island Time.
There's a lot of really good moments that does not justify the amount of notes I took.
Sure.
You know, it's funny, like in my notes, I just noticed I had a question, like, did Hughes and Lindelof go back and forth on the amount of money John's dad would have an offer? You know, like, were they like, oh no, we can't hit, it can't be 8 or 15, you know,
that'd be too obvious.
That's the numbers.
I have $1,500. No, man, that's dumb. Do 8 million.
Cents.
No, that's dumb too.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, and then I also wrote
enough.
Locke's dad, so smooth.
Oh boy, Island Time. Yeah, Island Time. We kick off Island Time. Jack and Locke want Henry to draw a map to the balloon? Or is that in the... Did I actually write down part of the recap?
Yeah. They said something about, draw the map again.
Yeah, right? That's the first thing that happens, right? Because they're saying... Because I wrote this down. One of them, Jack or Locke, says that somebody's gone. And I was just like, please be Claire. It's got to be Claire, right? Because Claire's always fucking gone. She's always being kidnapped or she's missing.
Fucking shows up, and I just, ugh.
Yeah, so they didn't say who it was, but I was assuming it's Claire. And so then we cut to Saeed, Ana Lucia, looking for the balloon. And apparently Charlie's out there too. But they find it. They find a balloon and a grave, and it's the whole. I dug the scene because it was kind of macabre. Like there's a pile of stones there in the grave, but then they get in the underneath and like, why isn't it raining here? It's like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
I was thinking
oh, go ahead, Justin.
I was gonna say because I think that were the beach scenes going on around that because I watched this a couple of times before, but I think the beach scenes were sunny, and then they're pouring down rain. Yeah, and then they're like, "Why is it not raining?" And I mean, that's obviously
just weather moving.
They were underneath the canopy, but yeah, like
why is it raining? Because it stopped. Because it's a monsoon jungle. Like we've seen it just abruptly start and stop raining before. Like that's
yeah. I mean, it's like Florida,
Central
in
Florida.
The summer. Yeah, exactly. Rains once a day for 15 minutes and you're done. I was going to say, though, from like a production value standpoint, I mean, the rain looked halfway decent, even though when Saeed was talking to Ana Lucia, there was like clearly like a really harsh like ray of sunlight that was behind him. Which, you're filming in the jungle and you have a rain machine and you're just like,
dude, that's what you're here for. You're here to notice things about socks and about lighting. Like those are your two strong suits, and you gotta hit your notes.
I'm fucking checking out for the rest of the podcast, boys.
So they find Henry's balloon and Henry's wife, and Henry's wife is dead. I remember when we talked back in, I think it was the first episode where we met Henry Gale, that Saeed episode, one of them. I remember saying during that episode, I was like, I feel like there's a specific reason why he made his story about how he got on the island. So like, because we were clowning on like, why would you make, like, why wouldn't you make it like, I have a plane crash. Like you guys got here on a plane crash. So did I. Like,
right.
And I was like, I feel like and this is why, because there is actually a wreckage of a balloon and a grave out there. And so like, he's, he used real shit to build out his alibi. Cut to the beach. Hugo, our buddy Hurley, man. Sake. This was probably my favorite little exchange in the whole episode.
Yeah.
Jack asks him something and Hugo's like, I don't know, man. Maybe if I was in the loop, I'd be more help, but I'm not in the loop. And Jack's like, there's no loop. And I was like, dude, there's a fucking loop, okay?
Yes. It's the exact same thing with John and his girlfriend. It's the same thing that's happened time and time again in the show, where it's like, if somebody would just take 10 minutes, get everybody together, explain everything to everybody, we could all pull resources and be helpful, but instead, just Jack and Kate know what's going on, and Saeed's there too sometimes.
Yeah, everybody knows a little bit of something. It's all cellularized. It's like every morning the survivors just get together in the morning, have a little island briefing. It's like, hey, everybody, here's what's going on. We need, we're going to need 15 pounds of mangoes, 6 gallons of water. These are the things that got to happen today. Oh, FYI, we found a hatch. Boone died. Quick recap. Now everybody's on the same page. Break. Have a good day on the island.
Ruber control. There's the one extra that's always like in the background. I don't know if they just liked him. He's like the bald dude that's just always kind of hanging out in the back. He winds up in groups with them. Like, I guess he's a featured extra, but I always wonder, like, what's this guy's day? Like, he's just going around gathering sticks, making sure the fire stays right.
Hornbuck says that's the key grip, who's also got his SAG card just because he's had to be an extra enough times where they're just like, oh fuck, we need to fill in this shot with like one more body. Hey Tom.
I mean, Tom, if he's a bald guy without a beard, there's a better than even chance it's Locke's stand-in.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
Grips
He
already
looks a little chubbier.
Grips always look like they've been stranded on a desert island for weeks. So like, they're perfect. Cargo shorts and dirty like Rolling Stones t-shirts. Yeah. I grip for 5 years. I can say that.
Turns out Claire's not missing. She's on the beach. So I was wrong about my prediction about Claire being missing. The baby is fussy and being ill. And also, no way is that baby 2 weeks old. Look at how huge that baby is.
That's a big
And
old
honestly,
baby.
like for having a baby 2 weeks ago, like Claire looks pretty great.
Oh,
like
lost all the baby weight. It's that island starvation diet.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, she is on a stranded island.
She looks pretty good if you're into people that look like feet.
Man,
So anti-Emily
Fucking hate Claire.
So Jack actually does like a little bit of doctoring here. He ministers to the baby, and then like Libby wanders by and she got stabbed by a sea urchin and she needs some ointment.
Like, it's that weird dichotomy where so often Jack's interpersonal skills, and we see this in a little bit with Sawyer, where he's such a pompous piece of shit. And then every once in a while, he's just like super nice. I'm like, yeah, I'll help you. I'll fucking
you know,
look at your
look at
baby.
who he's always so smooth and cheerful with. It's women.
Yeah.
He's a fucking misogynist, and we know this.
Yeah. All right.
Libby, we wouldn't know her name. I don't know if you guys like me. This being my first episode of Lost, I wouldn't have. I would be like that one woman.
We know she dies.
Yeah. At this point, we have also seen Two for the Road, where she gets got.
That's the only other episode we've seen her in.
Yeah.
She gets
She's had
fucking nice.
a line here and there in some other episodes, but yeah, we haven't had too much exposure to Libby other than her most screen time was in Two for the Road. And she
like the most important thing she did in this episode was be like, oh, they're playing poker over there.
Yeah, exactly. It was like Libby, as always, played ably by Cynthia Watros, one of my favorite actresses from the Fox sitcom Titus. I have to I'm legally obligated to mention that every time.
I
she's on
know
screen.
you are.
Just because Titus was still is one of my favorite TV shows. But yeah, the poker game. So yeah, Libby's like, I need ointment, and Jack's like, get some. Then the poker game. Sawyer's playing poker for mangoes with Kate and Libby, or not Libby, Kate and Hugo.
And of course, Jack is also good at poker. Fucking course.
Of course.
He's a total rich guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think in 2021 would call him privileged.
Yeah.
We come back to the hatch for a moment. Locke hears some static coming from somewhere. He's working out on the bike, getting in a good sweat. He's frustrated with Ben or Henry. Benry. But so he goes to fix the speaker. There's a voice coming from the PA. Once he listens a little bit closer, we realize it's some sort of countdown. And this was another little moment that I liked here in the episode where the noise is happening, the countdown's going, and Locke's freaking out a little bit. He's getting all aggro, and then just from the armory, Henry's like, maybe you should get Jack.
Right, because there was that moment earlier where he's like, why do you let Jack talk to you like that? And the look on John's face is just like, fuck you. So then when it's like, maybe you should get Jack, it's like, oh, I want to fucking go in there and beat you with your own fist.
Oh man, but that's like that's one of the things I love about it. It's like, this is Ben with his little manipulative, his little fingers getting in there, and it's just like, oh fuck, I love Michael Emerson.
His whole speech about he's got the whole little speech about you have to protect me, John, where they're talking through the door. It's such a good performance. Like, it's so manipulative, but it could also be genuine. It's so weird what he's able to do with his face and his tone of voice, where I'm just like, God, I don't like you as a character, but I like watching you do what you're doing as an actor.
Well, weren't like, weren't they only planning to have him on just like for a few episodes, and then they were like,
basically,
holy shit, this guy's amazing.
Come in, he was going to be this sort of others infiltrator type of thing, and then eventually he would be phased out in favor of whatever. But Emerson was so fucking awesome.
He's so fucking good.
Oh man, how could you not want to?
I think there might be something up with Henry Gale, guys.
What?
At this point, this being my first episode of Lost, there's something up with this Henry Gale character. Don't know if we can trust him.
Yeah. The countdown wraps up, and these big blast doors just start slamming down, like pow, pow, pow. Closes up the windows, all the hallways, whatever.
And John Locke with fucking quick deploy crowbar action. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty sharp to get that crowbar in there. He just barely, too. I have a note here just because this is the next thing that happened. They do cut back to the beach, and Jack noses in on the poker game, and Jack's fucking good at everything because he's fucking Jack, and so whatever. We cut back to the hatch. Locke and Ben briefly freak out, and then this is where that scene that you were just mentioning, JP, where Ben Henry starts bargaining for protection from the rest of the survivors. And oh man, I mentioned this in the Saeed episode. It's just like Navy and Andrews throughout that whole episode did so much great acting, but then I posited that really great acting, there's a lot to be said about monologuing, but the really great acting comes from a partner. And my favorite thing about Michael Emerson is that he makes everybody who acts with him just so much better. Like, Tara Quinn is by no sense of the word a bad actor, but when he's interacting with Ben throughout this whole episode, just like, fuck, man. All of his scenes, I would so much rather watch him and Michael Emerson than him and Matthew Fox, than him and anybody else.
Right. When he posits the question, he's like, who are you? And he says, Henry Gale or whatever. John has this look that he gives back at him with like a little pause. He's like, okay. And the inside is, I don't fucking believe you.
Right, exactly.
Or I still don't trust you.
Yeah, it's a look in his face like, okay, you're going to keep lying to me, but
we got to do this.
Yeah,
so.
I need your help, and you know that. And so now I'm on the short end here. I'm the one at the disadvantage.
Yeah.
He's like, I was taken advantage of by another father figure in my life.
Who is also my same age.
Yeah, and my father.
Cut back.
Are you my dad?
Cut back to the beach. Jack's winning a poker. Go figure. He busts out Kate, Sawyer, and Hugo. Takes all the mangoes, and he's like, man, this is fun, cool. I'm taking the mangoes and the plantains and whatever other shit is happening.
I was actually, that scene, I was like, I forgot that even then, like, poker on TV was a huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
because Sawyer
I
makes
forgot
that
about that.
Just because you watch poker on TV, thinks you know what you're doing or whatever. It's like, oh, God, I remember when I used to watch poker on TV all the time. Like, way too much. Sawyer wants big stakes. He's done playing for fruit. So Jack asks him for the stolen medicine. Apparently, Sawyer steals medicine.
So I know this isn't answered. I'm sure this is answered at some point, but like every time we encounter Sawyer, he always has a stockpile of something. Yeah. Like, he's one guy. Why are we allowing him to have stockpiles of things?
Right.
Like, it just seems silly at this point. Like,
yeah.
If he's gonna, because I know he had a camp on his own for a while, but like he's clearly interacting with everybody here. So give up that shit for the good of everybody, or I'm gonna put you under the ocean.
Yeah, him stealing medicine is just another, if you're doing a list of pros and cons about if you were going to date Sawyer, just another one in the con category. He steals medicine. Racist. He smokes cigarettes until he runs out. Medicine thief.
Like, Jack doesn't give him the opportunity to be a good guy. He's like, I need the medicine. Why? It's for the fucking baby over there. Oh.
Right, the baby's got a fever. Just give it to her.
Right. Like, could Sawyer have the opportunity to just be not a piece of shit?
Cut back to the hatch. Locke and Ben are working on trying to get out. There was a brief moment here where I was watching this and I was like, man, the hatch all of a sudden looks really, really badly like a TV set.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the lighting or what, but I was like, man, that all of a sudden looks super not real.
I feel like it's the doors, like the doors coming down. Something about I know in a previous episode of y'all referenced the caves in the first season, and I feel like those look super.
Yeah, they look
TV
like
study.
they look like caves that have been built out of foam and plaster.
There's just part of me that's like, if those are actual like blast doors, I don't care if there's a crowbar underneath and you're able to get something else with more leverage. 2 humans cannot lift that.
Right.
Like, I don't believe it's gonna happen.
Yeah. They start prying it up though. They get a crowbar in there, they get the weight bar in there, and they start getting it open, then they jam the toolbox under it. The world's cheapest toolbox. And what's the first thing that happens once the Locke just start like he is the weights were right there. The cast iron plates for the weight, the things that they use eventually to take the pressure off of John Locke's crushed leg.
Right.
Before you go skittering under the 14-inch crack that has been created by the cheap toolbox, put the plates there.
Right.
Right?
Well, and if the toolbox was going to be your go-to, why was it across the room?
Right.
Like, why didn't you have something ready to go?
Yeah.
Which is odd, considering his socks.
Forgot about the goddamn socks.
Cut back to the beach. The only thing that happens in this thing is we find out that Jack learned how to play cards in Phuket, and that Sawyer knows where Phuket is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I dropped out of 9th grade doesn't make me an idiot. Yeah, well, being well-traveled doesn't make you less of a racist, so...
it's a sweet little scene. Cut back to the hatch. Locke tells Ben about the button. That's the next thing that happened. The countdown, the button, the thing, it's coming down. Locke's been obsessed with this in the past. He tells Benry that he's got to go deal with the button. He shows him how to crawl up through the pantry ceiling and punch the numbers.
If that was an option, why didn't we do that first as opposed to messing with the door?
I mean, Henry Gale's a skinny little, tiny little man.
Yeah, that's true.
Apparently not. John Locke is big and wide.
Yeah, apparently
big
not
and burly.
too skinny to make the food shelf totally collapse under his weight.
Oh, that looked like it hurt.
It really did. Like when it went down, I was like, "Oh shit!" I wonder if Emerson does his own
person
stunts.
hurt themselves.
But yeah, Henry fall down, go boom.
No, he didn't have a balloon.
Yeah. Cut back to the beach. Kate, Hugo, and Libby are watching a poker game from 20 feet away with a pair of binoculars. And slowly a crowd starts to gather. But Jack's winning, and he takes Sawyer. He calls him with a pair of 9s, and like that probably...
Sawyer also fucking can't shuffle cards for shit. He tries to do the bridge, when you're shuffling, and it's kind of like baby's first card set. And I'm just like, all right.
But yeah, so like Jack, plays him both in cards and, in the mind game, tells him, you're going to call me because you can't let these people see you lose and blah, 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 blah. He wins. He says he's going to stop by and get the medicine later. Sawyer asks him, or they have this little conversation. Sawyer asks him,
"Hey, when I ask you what you want for steaks, why didn't you ask for the guns? When I need the guns, I'll get the guns."
Remember earlier, JP, how you said you don't understand why the survivors are letting Sawyer have... Oh, Sawyer's got the medicine and the guns? Apparently.
Well, no, I get that, but like...
No, like that. No, it's not... Like, this was a moment I was like, oh, not on top of the medicine, he also has all the weapons. Does he have everything? Does he have, like... What's happening? Why? Yeah, why do they let him have these huge stockpiles of all the shit they need?
And then play fucking coconut poker with him. It's like, hit him over the head, tie him up, and say, all right, give us all the stuff now because you're fucking this up for everybody.
We know this about him, though. Like, if you tie him up and torture him, he's just going to ask to sexually assault one of the female survivors.
Yeah, god damn it.
So that tactic doesn't work.
I don't like Sawyer.
Fucking Sawyer. Jack, and Jack's not great in this moment either. He's just fucking pompous and smarmy about it. When I need the guns, I'll get the guns.
Well, I was going to say, like, that's you still could have had a badass moment, like, if I need the guns, I'll let you know.
Yeah, something like that.
That would be extending a bridge.
Yeah.
Like, if I needed a gun, I would come to you,
Yeah,
Sawyer.
I know who to go to.
But instead of it's, if I need a gun, I'll get a fucking gun. Like,
Such
okay.
a fucking arrogant.
Fuck you, Jack.
He really does come across as super arrogant.
Yeah.
Like, it's been years since I've watched an episode of Lost, and I was like, I don't remember him being this cocky.
Yeah, it's kind of a jerk.
And then it's really weird how times have changed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We cut back to the hatch. Henry has recovered and he gets out of he heads up to the thing. Such a good question when he comes to, how long was I out? Like, 20 years. Like a couple of seconds. Get up. I know you probably have a concussion, but whatever.
Chop, chop.
He goes up in there. The timer starts to accelerate. We hear the noise of the drastic change in tone of the beeper, whatever. But then it stops. In the distance, we can hear the timer roll on over. But then these black lights turn on in the room, and we get our first glance at the blast door map, baby. Oh man, I remember the blast door map in as much that it was a thing.
That is such a cool, like, I forgot about that. Like, as somebody who loved this show, I've probably seen the first season 4 or 5 times. I have the box set. I don't think I've seen this episode in at least 10 years.
Sure.
And so I forgot all about that. And I was like, oh, this is a cool show.
Right?
It's like, oh, well, what's going on? What's all that other stuff?
Right. Like, I don't even have anything snarky to say about it because I'm just like, oh, fuck, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have a joke written here. John thanks Benry for not leaving.
Well, okay. Listen.
Yeah.
I have to complain about first aid for a second.
Sure.
Even if you're not bleeding profusely, if there's a puncture wound like that, you tie it off.
Yeah.
You're 2 men that are over 40. You're both wearing a belt. I guarantee it. Like, you have to tie it off because the pressure of the door could be stopping arterial bleeding.
Right.
So as soon as the door goes up, you bleed out in a matter of minutes.
Right.
You need to tie that wound off as a precautionary measure.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No doubt. I mean, I thought, yeah, I was like, I saw that and I was like, JP's probably going to say something about that, so I don't need to.
Oh my God. He would just start gushing blood if he wasn't before.
It's almost as if he's got weird legs.
Next thing that happens is it's nighttime. We have a little bit of a cut forward in time to after dark. Jack's
Everybody's got a torch.
torches are super easy to make. Didn't you know that? Jack is heading into the jungle. He's on his way to the hatch. We find out. Kate catches up with him. She's like, "Hey, I want to head to the hatch with you. I need to take a shower. I stank." And he lies to her. Says the plumbing's not working, doesn't want her following him to the hatch. And this was a question I wrote to myself. Is Henry's presence in the hatch still a secret? Like, do people not know about it? Like, because Kate was in an earlier episode we watched. She's been to the hatch. She's taking a shower there. Jack perved on her in the episode we saw. So, yeah. So that was that was just a little, like...
No, he's not interested in her. He's like, oh, I'm helping Claire. I'm helping the other ladies on the beach. I don't care about Kate right now. I'm not getting any from her. Like, I don't need to let you have a shower. Go be a stanky swamp monster.
So what? I don't know how you can say that, because then right there he's like, nah, the hatch can wait till the morning. I'll walk you back to the beach. Like, he's...
Yeah,
I don't know. Man.
He sees an opening.
In the immortal words of that kid from The Sandlot, he's perving the dish, man. But so they see this light flashing out there, and they're like, what the hell? Some sort of spooky light. And I was like, oh yeah, this is the shit I'm here for. I can't wait for some weird jungle stuff to happen. They go over there, and it's like a supply drop. It's like a big net full of whatever. It's got this parachute and stuff, and it's like, oh man, this is obviously relatively new. Otherwise, they would have seen it, because obviously Jack's on some sort of path in between the hatch and the beach. Kate knows how to find him there. Like, this is a place that obviously gets walked past fairly often.
Right.
At least
it seems like they would have seen him blinking. Coming down, they would have seen him blinking. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, this is obviously a new thing.
It does. I mean, with how much Dharma shit there is on the island and how, like, there's still Dharma food that's good, even if it, was non-perishable. If it was from the 70s, it might not be good. If the island is getting resupplied, that explains how the survivors keep finding all of this shit everywhere.
It also, and it begs a couple other questions. It's like, are there people outside of the island that know about the island? Like,
right.
So it's like, there's a bunch of stuff attached to that. Plenty to unpack there, not just macaroni and cheese pre-packed dinner. Charlie, Saeed, and Ana Lucia wander into the clearing. What did you find? And then we cut back to the hatch. And so this is the final scene of the episode. Locke and Ben are sort of recovering from their little blast door adventure, and Jack and Saeed and Ana Lucia and Kate and Charlie come rushing in. They see Henry outside of the armory, and Saeed just immediately pulls his gun. He's like, don't fucking, and so like they try to get the situation under control, but they come to realize it's not some sort of half-assed prison break occurring. John's like, no, he was helping. JP, do you want to take the lead on this?
Oh, dude, I'm visibly aroused. So Saeed, being the fucking badass that he is, it just goes right up to our friend Henry Gale, and is like, yeah, fuck it, your whole story checks out, my guy. There's a balloon. There is a balloon, and we found it right where you said it would be, and we found a grave just where you said it would be, but you forgot that I'm a dirty little creep, and I dug up the body just to make sure, and I found not your wife. I found fucking Henry Gale. And I just started screaming to nothing in my living room, just like, fuck yes, that is some good shit. That is some good Saeed. That is some good television. That is some good performance.
Yeah.
That is that good shit where I'm like, put on another episode right now. Why am I watching this fucking show out of order?
Yeah, I was like, oh man. I watched mine on the Blu-ray, and it, like, before I started it, like, gives you the option if you're just gonna choose one episode or if you want it to continue to roll in.
Oh wow,
and
nice.
So I was just like, I told it just to do the one episode, and then I was disappointed that I didn't tell it to keep rolling
just
in.
Go right into the next one, because I was the same way. As soon as it got over, I was like, I want to watch the next one right now. Oh man, just like, and with that, the episode wraps up. That last, just like the final shot on Michael Emerson's face right before we get the end card. Oh man, I was just like,
oh, so fucking good.
That was so good. I mean, just like, So that I think that we'll use that as a segue into our end of the show segments. First up, as always, did we like it? Did we like the episode? Justin, what say you about this episode? What say you about Lockdown? What do you think about it? Just a 45-minute show.
There's a lot that I really, really like this episode. I feel very privileged and blessed that this is the first episode you guys gave me. Because I do, and I mean that in all seriousness. It was a lot of fun. And because when I started it, there's a part of me that was like, oh man, a Locke episode? I don't know. And,
that's exactly how I felt.
And by the end of it, I was like, this show is so good. I miss this show. So no, I really enjoyed it. And I missed this earlier, when Locke gets stuck under the blast doors. That's the other time that Locke is down. Yeah. And so in lockdown.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So there's the flashback in the island time connection. Locke is
right
brought
there.
Low to different time. Locked down.
Fucking stretch.
He's brought down low. But no, I really seriously did enjoy it a lot, and it's like Terry O'Quinn is fantastic, and it's weird. I don't know why. Before I started it, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch a Locke episode. I don't know what reconceived notions I had. But I was excited, and I really did. I know I've said this 4 times now, but I really did enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Adam, did you enjoy it?
I did. And yeah, I had kind of the same sort of thought going into it as Justin did. I was like, oh God, a Locke episode. Like, I've spent so much time dunking on Locke
guys.
going into
Come
this.
on.
It's just like,
But sweet baby boy.
But part of it is that, like, yeah, like my sort of like memories of like, oh man, I remember like Locke's flashbacks are always fucking depressing because he was like such a bummer guy off of the island. And that was the thing that I was bummed about. Like, but yeah, by halfway through the episode, like when I remembered like that this was the blast door thing, and like I totally had forgotten about the supply drops, and like so by the time the end of it came up, and then like Saeed whips out the driver's license, I was just like, this was it for me. This was like, we've had episodes in the past where I get to the end of it, and I'm like, oh, that was fun. I can wait a couple of weeks before I see another one. This is an instance where I was like, I so badly want to watch the next episode. And
this episode started, I feel like, with like off the tails of another episode like that, where something
just like it picked up like right where the last one left off.
Yeah, something dramatic happened right as we picked back up. Yeah. So I liked it overall. I could have done without the poker, all of that stuff. That
it's weird that whole bit felt like a C story, and it was basically the B story of the episode.
Right, it just felt like filler, and so much of it, like, high stakes banana poker. There's so many more important things happening on the island right now that I care about. Like, other than that, I thought it was really good.
Kate actually, I think Kate put it pretty succinctly before she kind of opted out of the poker game. She was like, "Do you want me to go get a real ruler so you guys can have a real dick measuring contest?" Like, that's all. The whole thing played out like that. And it's like, I don't want to watch that part.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like we got a consensus. We did like it. Lockdown's a good episode, y'all.
Yeah.
Let's do MVPs. The lost MVP, your favorite character of the episode, minus your context, minus your memory. The MVP of this 45 minutes. Justin, what do you think?
I honestly think Locke's dad is the MVP.
Anthony Cooper?
Anthony Cooper. Because he got away with it all. He got out. He got all the money. He got a kidney, clearly, that we know. He did not give one shit about his son being dumped.
He was very consistent in being a dipshit dad.
Yeah, he's... I don't know, like, he won.
Yeah.
He won this episode. If anybody was going to win anything, he absolutely did for himself. So, I'm not saying he's a good person,
but he got it. So
he
often the retirement score doesn't work, and this one worked.
He did. I don't know where he was planning to fly to. I don't know.
Pocket City, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Where $700,000 quickly becomes $1.4 million.
Right. He's like, you can get a sandwich there for $4. I don't know why. I was just like, by the end, I was like, man, he did it.
Yeah,
he made it. Anthony Cooper.
Adam, who's your lost MVP?
I got to give my MVP this week to Locke's hairpiece.
Jesus Christ.
If you need a guy with a shaved head to look young, give him a wig that makes him look bald. Locke's hairpiece.
He looked older with that hair.
Yeah, I was like, is this like... Oh, man. Yeah, that was like... There have been some bad wigs in the history of television, but the Locke's hairpiece in this episode has got to be in the running for like top 10 worst wigs ever.
Do you think it's because they shot the show in Hawaii?
They only had limited access to wigs out on the island. Could have been. JP, what about you? Who's your lost MVP?
The funeral director. When they show up and there's no pallbearers, there's no one showing up to this funeral. He very easily could have just sat in his car and like had a Pall Mall and like read the paper or whatever they did before smartphones. But he stood out there and saw this goddamn thing through because he's a fucking professional. So whatever funeral director that is, just make sure that they deal with my remains someday.
Not bad. Lost Forever. The other side of this bit. Your least favorite character of the episode. Just this 45 minutes, minus the context, minus your memory, anything like that. Justin, who in your opinion could be lost forever?
Well, since this is my first episode to see ever within this premise, I would be like that one woman who got stung, but Libby. Like I feel like.
Yeah, because that's an instance of when we talk about this all the time in previous episodes, characters coming on and the writer is not reintroducing it to. They never say Libby's name once during the episode.
Yeah, and like everything she did, like Claire could have like served the purpose for her too. Like you need medicine for your baby, or you need some ointment for your baby. Well, Sawyer has it.
Right. The baby being sick is actually a much more compelling reason to get medicine than Libby having a fucking infection on her finger.
Yeah. And so within this episode, for me,
Libby.
But yeah, Libby. She's better than those other people that show up later. But
Adam, who is lost forever for you?
Who do I got? Ricky B&E, Jimmy Bain's partner. Didn't have any lines. Might as well not even have actually been there.
Right.
Honorable mention, of course, to Ana Lucia because fuck the police. JP, lost forever.
The designers of the 1972 Volkswagen ESV W1, which was the first automobile to have automatic seatbelts, because Katie Seagal tries to angrily drive away, and it's really fucking hard to do that when you start your car up and a slow automatic seatbelt goes across your chest. I feel like they did a disservice to a lot of people by just designing seatbelts that way.
Perfect.
That's good. That's really good.
Burning questions.
I did more research into that fucking car than anything else on this episode.
And it shows. Burning questions. Does anybody have a burning question? This is a question that was raised during the episode that did not get answered by it, and you hope that it either had been answered in the past or will be in the future.
I mean, a lot. There's so many in this episode.
You don't even know for sure that that's a map. It's just like the diagram, on the blast door. Like, what is that?
Yeah. What is this weird black
why
light
are there?
on?
Why are there black lights? Like, why are there UV lights in there? I don't understand that enough that somebody felt the need to draw something in UV reactive paint.
Right.
So, where does that thing come from? The supply drop.
Yeah. Adam, do you have any burning questions?
We kind of hit mine earlier already, but like, how or why did the survivors allow Sawyer to... My specific burning question was, how did the survivors allow Sawyer to get his hands not only on all of the medicine, but all of the guns, apparently? So, I mean, they outnumber him. They outnumber him 42 to 1. Like, if they don't want him to have the guns, they could just take him back. Right. So, that's JP, what about you? Do you have one?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I'll say the supply drop.
All right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, that's pretty much it for the show. Justin, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
For Lockdown.
Yeah.
We 100% want to have you back in the future as so far our only guest that actually owns the media and is not watching it on Hulu.
on Adam's account.
But since you're here, do you have anything you want to mention out to our audience? Anything that might be worth taking a look at in the world of Justin?
The main thing, like anything about me, you can pretty much find out at justinnichols.net, and it's got some films that I've made and other stuff I've worked on. So excellent. It's pretty fun.
I've seen a couple of clips and some excerpts from some of the stuff that you've done in the past, and it looks good, man.
Oh, thank you.
So definitely go check that out, listeners at home.
It looks better than John Locke's Wigs, so...
That's all I could ask for,
Yeah.
Making movies in Arkansas.
Adam, what are we watching next time?
Yeah. If you, the listener at home, are trying to be lost with us, please check out our next episode. We will be talking about season 3, episode 19,
Jesus Christ.
The Brig. It's another Locke episode. If you like Locke,
Fuck yeah, it is.
come back for for another Locke episode next episode of Lost on Lost.
Lock on Locke. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of Lost on Lost.
I'm Adam.
I'm JP.
Do you have any idea what's going on in the show?
Nope.
Me neither. Lost on Lost is produced and edited by Adam Busher and JP Russell.
Recorded on location in Milwaukee, Wisconsin and Los Angeles, California.
Our show is hosted at Podbean. Find us there or wherever you find your podcasts.
Thanks to Danny Schmitz of Lost in a Name for our theme music.
Lostpedia and the community of contributors there.
Random.org for creating the watch order.
Check out our Facebook page, Lost on Lost, or find us on Twitter and Instagram at Lost on Lost 1.
Don't follow those jerks at Lost on Lost 2.
You can also email us at wearelostonlost@gmail.com. If you like what we're getting into here, buy us a coffee at coffee.com/wearelostonlost.
That's ko-fi.com/wearelostonlost.